Miracles of the Catholic Church confirmed by science. Miracles of the Catholic Church verified by science, divine signs in the modern age. Welcome to this extraordinary journey through some of the most scientifically analyzed miracles in the Catholic Church. Many people believe that miracles are relics of the past, stories from ancient times with no relevance to the modern world. However, in recent centuries, numerous miraculous events have been scrutinized under the lens of science, and some of them have left experts baffled, unable to provide any natural explanation. In today's presentation, we will explore 5 major categories of Catholic miracles that have been studied, tested, and validated by scientists. Eucharistic miracles. Cases where the consecrated host physically transforms into human flesh and blood, examined under laboratory conditions. Miraculous Marian apparitions. Apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary that left behind physical evidence or had effects that were scientifically tested. Incorruptible saints. Saints whose bodies have resisted decomposition in ways that defy biological explanation. Medically verified healings at Lourdes. Cases where people diagnosed with incurable diseases experienced instantaneous healing, confirmed by medical experts. The Shroud of Turin, one of the most scientifically examined relics in history, believed by many to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. These miracles challenge the limits of human knowledge and provide tangible evidence that God is still at work today. If you are fascinated by the intersection of faith and science, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with those who seek truth beyond the material world. Let's begin this deep dive into the miraculous realities of the Catholic Church. The Eucharistic Miracles, scientific confirmation of Christ's real presence. What is a Eucharistic miracle? The Catholic Church teaches that in the sacrament of the Eucharist, the bread and wine offered during Mass become the body and blood of Jesus Christ. This transformation, known as transubstantiation, occurs at the moment of consecration when the priest speaks the words of Christ. This is my body. This is my blood. Though the substance changes, the appearances of bread and wine remain the same. This is why the Eucharist requires faith, because, under normal conditions, we cannot see the transformation with our physical eyes. However, throughout history, there have been moments where God allowed physical signs to confirm the real presence. These events, known as Eucharistic miracles, include cases where the consecrated host turned into visible flesh, the consecrated wine became real human blood. The Eucharist produced scientifically inexplicable phenomena. The Eucharistic miracle of Lanciano, Italy, 8th century. One of the oldest and most thoroughly examined Eucharistic miracles occurred in the 8th century in Lanciano, Italy. The event: a Basilian monk was celebrating Mass when he doubted whether Jesus was truly present in the Eucharist. At the moment of consecration, the host transformed into human flesh, and the wine turned into actual blood before his eyes. The flesh and blood were preserved in a reliquary, and the miracle quickly gained widespread recognition. Scientific analysis. 1971. In 1971, Dr. Odoardo Linoli, a professor of anatomy and pathology, conducted a scientific examination of the relics. His findings included: the flesh was confirmed to be human heart muscle, myocardium. The blood type was identified as AB, the same blood type found in the Shroud of Turin and other Eucharistic miracles. The flesh contained no preservatives, yet had remained intact for over 1,200 years. The muscle fibers showed signs of distress, indicating that they belonged to a heart that had undergone severe suffering, consistent with a crucifixion victim. The Eucharistic miracle of Buenos Aires, 1996. A modern Eucharistic miracle took place in Buenos Aires, Argentina, during the 1990s. The event: a discarded consecrated host was found on the ground and placed in water to dissolve. As per church protocol, days later, it was discovered that the host had turned into a piece of bloody tissue. The Archbishop at the time, Jorge Bergoglio, now Pope Francis, ordered scientific tests. Scientific analysis. Dr. Frederick Zugaib, a renowned cardiologist and forensic pathologist, examined the sample and made shocking discoveries. The tissue was human heart tissue from the left ventricle, the part responsible for pumping blood to the body. The tissue showed white blood cells, which meant it was still alive when extracted. The cells indicated severe trauma, resembling the heart condition of a person who had suffered extreme torture and death. The blood type was again AB, matching Lanciano and the Shroud of Turin. The results led Drive Zugaib to conclude, whoever this belonged to was under extreme pain, as if he had been beaten to death. The fact that heart tissue remained alive for years without a living body to support it remains a scientific impossibility. The miraculous healings of Lourdes, medically verified miracles. The Lourdes phenomenon. The sanctuary of Our Lady of Lourdes in France is one of the most scientifically studied religious sites in the world. Since the Virgin Mary appeared to Saint Bernadette Soubirous in 1858, the spring waters of Lourdes have been associated with miraculous healings. The Lourdes Medical Bureau, scientific investigations. To verify claims of healing, the Church established the Lourdes Medical Bureau, an institution that requires a full medical history of each patient before and after healing, involves a panel of atheist, agnostic, and Christian doctors to prevent bias, only recognizes cases where there is no medical explanation. Medically confirmed miracles to date, over 7,000 miraculous healings have been reported at Lourdes, with over 70 cases officially recognized by scientists as medically inexplicable. Case study. Sister Bernadette Moriau, 2008, diagnosed with irreversible spinal paralysis, which left her in a wheelchair for decades. After visiting Lourdes and praying, she felt an intense warmth and immediately walked. Multiple neurologists confirmed that her spinal condition was incurable, making her healing scientifically unexplainable. The Shroud of Turin. Science confronts a divine mystery. The Shroud of Turin is believed to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ, containing a mysterious imprint of a crucified man. Scientific examination. In 1978, a team of NASA scientists and forensic experts conducted an intensive study. Their findings: the image was not painted. The wounds match Roman crucifixion techniques. The 3D imprint is impossible to replicate using any known technology. Despite countless tests, no scientist has been able to reproduce the shroud or explain how the image was formed. Final conclusion. What do these miracles mean for us? These scientifically verified miracles demonstrate that God is active in our world today. They invite skeptics to reconsider the reality of faith and provide believers with powerful evidence of God's presence. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into faith, science, and history. The miraculous phenomenon of incorruptible saints, a scientific mystery. What does incorruptibility mean? The phenomenon of incorruptibility refers to cases where the bodies of Catholic saints and blesseds remain preserved long after death, often without any natural embalming or preservation techniques. Unlike mummification, where chemical agents or environmental factors prevent decay, these bodies have remained intact despite burial in normal conditions, sometimes for centuries. The Catholic Church has long regarded incorruptibility as a sign of sanctity, and many incorrupt saints have been canonized. However, what makes this phenomenon especially remarkable is that, in several cases, scientific investigations have confirmed that no known natural process can account for the extraordinary preservation of these bodies. Scientific analysis of incorruptible saints. Modern forensic science acknowledges that after death, the human body undergoes a predictable process of decomposition due to bacterial activity, environmental exposure, and tissue breakdown. The stages of decay include autolysis, the body's own enzymes break down tissues. Putrefaction, bacteria rapidly consume soft tissues, producing gases and causing the body to swell. Decay and skeletonization. The body disintegrates, leaving only bones after months or years. However, many incorruptible saints have defied these natural stages, showing minimal or no decomposition for decades or even centuries, without embalming, special treatments, or environmental factors that could explain their preservation. Notable cases of incorruptible saints and scientific investigations. Case 1. Saint Bernadette Soubirous, died 1879, body exhumed 1909. 1919, 1925. Who was Saint Bernadette? Saint Bernadette Soubirous was the young visionary of Lourdes, France, who saw the Virgin Mary in 1858. She later joined a convent and lived a life of humility before dying at the age of 35. Scientific analysis of her incorruptibility. First exhumation, 1909. Her body was found perfectly intact, her skin still supple, and her limbs flexible. Doctors noted no signs of decomposition despite her body being buried in a simple wooden coffin. Second exhumation, 1919. The body remained unchanged, although some black spots had formed on the skin. Third exhumation, 1925. Minor discoloration was noted, but the body was still remarkably well preserved. Her body was placed in a glass reliquary at the sanctuary of Lourdes, where millions of pilgrims have witnessed her incorrupt state. Scientific explanation. Forensic experts confirmed that there were no preservatives used and that normal conditions should have led to full decomposition. No scientific explanation could be provided. Case 2. Saint Catherine Labouré, died 1876, body exhumed 1933. Who was she? Saint Catherine Labouré was the visionary who received the miraculous medal from the Blessed Virgin Mary in 1830. Condition of the body exhumed 57 years after death in 1933. Her body was found in a state of near-perfect preservation. Doctors confirmed that her flesh was still soft, her joints flexible, and no signs of significant decomposition were present. Her body remains on display at the Chapel of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal in Paris, and it is one of the most astonishing examples of incorruptibility. Case 3. Saint John Vianney, died 1859, body exhumed in 1904. Who was he? Saint John Vianney, also known as the Curé of Ars, was a humble parish priest in France known for his miraculous insights, prophecies, and devotion to the sacrament of confession. Condition of his body. When his body was exhumed in 1904, it was largely incorrupt, especially the face and hands. His heart was removed and preserved separately, remaining entirely intact. Today, his incorrupt body is enshrined in the Basilica of Ars, France, where thousands visit each year. Scientific theories and challenges. Despite extensive study, science has struggled to explain incorruptibility. Some scientists have proposed environmental conditions. Some claim that factors such as low oxygen levels or dry soil may slow decay, but this does not account for cases where bodies were buried in normal or humid environments. Natural mummification. Unlike mummification, which requires dehydration or chemicals, incorrupt saints often have soft, pliable flesh, which is unheard of in natural preservation. Unknown biological factors. Some scientists speculate that unknown biological or chemical processes might be at work, but no common factor has been found among all incorruptible cases. What does incorruptibility mean for faith? For the faithful, incorruptible saints serve as a divine sign, showing that God sets apart certain individuals in extraordinary ways. Many of these saints led lives of extreme holiness, often marked by suffering, prayer, and charity. Intimate connection with God. Many experienced visions, mystical encounters, or miraculous gifts. Supernatural devotion. Some incorrupt saints had miraculous abilities during life, such as prophecy or healing. Ultimately, the phenomenon of incorruptibility remains one of the greatest scientific mysteries in religious history. It defies natural explanations, reinforcing the reality that God continues to reveal His power in extraordinary ways. Conclusion. The Miracles of the Catholic Church, a call to faith. Through Eucharistic miracles, Lourdes healings, Marian apparitions, the Shroud of Turin, and incorruptible saints, we see overwhelming scientific evidence that defies natural explanation. Even in an age of advanced science and skepticism, these miracles remind us that God is still present and active in the world today. Faith and science are not opposed, rather, miracles confirm faith. The Church's miracles challenge us to seek the truth. If you found this investigation into Catholic miracles fascinating, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into faith, history, and science. You can check the playlist for more information. Share this video to spread the message of God's signs in the modern world. Leave a comment. Which miracle amazed you the most? God bless you, and may these miracles strengthen your faith.